hunt boy racers?
On occasions I do.
Do you think of them as prey?
They're certainly my targets on certain occasions, and I'll do my best to catch them.
And how determined are you to catch your target?
Very.
He likes the night shift. That's when the boy races are running. In an unmarked car, on an isolated road, Constable Kerry Gray usually works alone. He's got nerve and patience.
Do you like waiting?
You know, I like doing it because I know that there's a chance I'm going to catch somebody. That's a slim chance sometimes. But it's just one of the tools that we have, you know. Semi-rural, you can hear it for kilometres away. You can hear squealing tyres, you can hear noisy mufflers, you can even hear yelling and carrying on, bottles being smashed. You can hear that.
It's cooking oil! It's cooking oil!
There's action going down at a crossroads north of town. It's almost midnight, one Friday in April. A boy racer is splashing oil on the road to spark a skidding frenzy.
Oh, cops!
The racers are filming as Kerry Gray arrives at the scene alone.
Is it?
Yeah. It's a very dark crossroad, so you couldn't really see the actual numbers of people there were there, so you sort of go in a little bit blind, but once I drove in there, you could tell that there was more than just a few cars there.
Constable Gray catches this young man pouring something onto the road.
So you didn't know what it was? Oh, I'm saying, like, it could be diesel or something, but I don't know what exactly it is.
Basically, I was just on the piss and showed up at the skids and a bunch of cars there and had the oil and just started pouring it on the road, and I had my hood up and didn't realise there was a cop there, and he just pulled up and seen me doing it, eh?
The hunter gets his target.
So I was just like, oh shit.
20-year-old Hamish Harvey, unemployed, is charged with disorderly behaviour.
Do you think at all about the hazard that it creates for other motorists?
No, not really. Just go out to the skids, pour it on the road. Shit happens.
It's no care and no responsibility, even according to the self-proclaimed ringleader, Nick Shanks.
That's obviously a hazard for other vehicles.
Not really. What would you think? It's
Come
more.
on.
No, well, no. On a straight bit of road, if someone's driving normally, you're not going to skid on diesel.
But you're talking about an intersection here.
Yeah. If it was in an intersection, yeah, it can get dangerous. Yeah. But if it's on a straight bit of road, yeah, it's less of a hazard.
Pull the car over. Got your registration.
And there's obvious danger too for cops like Kerry Gray and his colleagues.
And the other one looks like a hollow tube of hell.
Walking into volatile situations with no near backup.
I'm actually out there trying to do something, as opposed to maybe just sitting on my hands and saying it's someone else's problem.
After his shift, Kerry goes home to a newborn son.
Who drives one of these?
Daddy.
Daddy.
A 3-year-old daughter
Have a seat. When I'm walking
and his
along
wife
the
Kim.
path, I remember the road code.
It's
quite nerve-wracking.
Drive the police car?
Yeah. You do have sleepless nights, especially when you know he's supposed to finish at 4 or 6 in the morning and it's getting an hour or two past that and he's still not home. I wake and start to worry and I'm thinking, what's happened?
On another night, this time in the Port Hills above Christchurch, more spilled oil meets burning rubber.
Hit your foot on the accelerator and try to get it on the brake at the same time. So you heel toe it, heel on the brake, toes on the accelerator.
What does that do to your car?
Wrecks the hell out of it.
Sure does. This car blew out both of its back tyres.
But that's music to your ears.
Yeah. Beethoven the symphony.
You're putting your own lives at risk, let alone everybody else's.
But you don't think about that when you're doing it. definitely don't think about that. It's not, that's probably the last thing on anyone. Normally the last thing on my mind.
And what are the consequences?
Are you aware of the damage that was done that night?
No, I'm not. Not at all.
The road was all ripped up.
Was it?
The council is called in the next morning to start repairs that will end up costing ratepayers $25,000.
Really? Shit.
I mean, why isn't it you who's going back to fix up that road?
I wouldn't have a clue. I'm not the one doing burnouts. But they do. People do pay to fix these roads. It's why taxes are for. It's why we pay so much for rego, is to get these roads fixed.
Do you think you're entitled?
No, definitely not. What we do is illegal, and it's illegal for a reason.
But that's not going to stop them. There were 1,500 tickets written to boy races in Christchurch last year. That's 10 times more than in Auckland.
4 months after shots were fired at Sergeant Nigel Armstrong, the offender still at large, the government is now calling for extreme measures. Hitting the boy racers where they think it will hurt them, crushing their prized cars.
If they want to take on the police or take on members of the public with their aggressive actions, then I've got no issues with their cars being taken off them, sold, crushed. You know, I'd be quite happy to push the button.
But is that really going to work?
Most people have money owing on their cars or have it in someone else's name. They're going to struggle. I would be surprised if this law even goes through. The government is suggesting it, but through the hire purchase laws, contract law and ownership, they're going to struggle to even be able to crush, half a dozen cars a year.
What do you think society's saying about you to even suggest your cars should be crushed?
I think everyone here knows that society dislike us or hate us and they want us gone, but ideally we're citizens of Christchurch and we help in the running of it.
And running they are. Despite the threats of new legislation, Christchurch's boy races this week still out in force.
You seem like you have half a brain. You could do something with your life.
Oh, definitely. I finished 7th form. I've got university certificates. I'm still training. I could go I could do anything I wanted.
But not if you get into serious trouble with the law.
Yeah, no, that's the point.
Would you say you're sorry for the inconvenience, irritation and danger you cause to the public?
No, I would eventually, not at the moment.